Okay guys, I had not planned on doing the video on the canner so soon, but when opportunity presents itself to create less waste and help your family out whenever it comes to budgeting and the bottom line, when you show up at Sam's and things are on sale, you grab them. And I grabbed 3 of those today, so I'm going to put them in the canner because I do not have room in the freezer. And I figured it would be a good opportunity to walk you through this canner. Okay, let's see. I don't want to shake you around too much, but let's see what we can do here. Forgive the mess. All right. I've got a funky glare on my lens, and I'm sorry about that, but I think it's more from a scratch on my screen protector than the lighting. So, all right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it right there for right now. I'm going to walk through here, and I can zoom in, I think, far enough from that angle, but if not, we can change it. This is the Presto Precise Digital Pressure Canner. It is not a cooker. It is not meant to cook a dang thing in it. It's just meant for pressure canning. It has, I'm going to actually just take you off of here for just a second. Okay. It has a few different functions. That's for water canning. We're not going to water can today. We're going to pressure can. So you switch it over to pressure can. Okay, this is your cancel. This is your advance. Removable plug. You just plug that in and plug it into the wall and you're good to go. It comes with a rack, the inner pot, a fill line. Okay, you fill it with 3 quarts of water for pressure canning, and of course as a cording for water canning to go over your jars. That's all I have done is I've put the inner pot in, put the rack in, put the water in. That's as far as I've taken it. So today I'm going to do quarts, and these are bone in. So to raw pack bone in, you will first have to set how long you're going to process it. For bone in raw packed chicken, it goes 75 minutes for quarts, and I will show you that in my book here. All right, for raw packed chicken, for quarts, 75 minutes with bone, and that is USDA. So we are going to come over here and we're going to set it for 75 minutes. And then we're going to either push the advance or that button. Now it says to insert jars. What I'm going to do is I'm going to actually step over here real quick because I'm going to be doing them both because I've got a bunch of chicken to do. Okay, insert jars. Now I'm going to put you back on the stand. Sorry for the seasick. And what I have is 10-quart jars that have a little bit of water in them. It's just plain tap water in this one. Okay. Add you a couple tablespoons of vinegar to your plain water. And that just stops any scaling from your hard water from your tap. Okay, and then you're going to insert your jars like it says. Okay, and this holds 5 wide mouth quart jars. Okay, and then kind of just like the Instant Pot, you line up your things here, lock it, Make sure it's on vent, or you take the regulator completely off. Either way. Lock this down and then hit advance. My jars are in there, advance. Now it's going to go through the cycle and it's going to warm the jars. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Alright, so now it's warming my jars. That's where we're at, and once it gets done warming them, it'll beep, and I'll know when to come and do the next thing. And I'll be back for that. Okay, that beep lets me know that my jars are warm, and you can see now it says fill jars, and I'm going to back it up. I'm going to back the camera up, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so now we've got everything repositioned where everybody can see, hopefully, and we are going to get started on this one canner at a time. Alright, so take your grabber, because these jars will be hot, of course, and then you want to empty your water out. Okay. Alright, I'm just taking this straight out of the pack. It's got the bone, the skin, everything on, and we're going to place them the best we can get them to fit, and put the bigger ones on the bottom in the jar. You can get 3 to 4 thighs. Sometimes it's better to do thighs and legs together because it fits a little bit better. But I think that'll work. That's 3 good sized thighs. Now, just a minute, let me get me out. Clorox wipe on my hands real quick here. And then a paper towel. Extra one over there. And normally for raw pack, you do not add liquid. I have some warm, not boiling, not hot, just as hot as it can get out of my tap. Okay, and I'm going to put a little bit in there. And then I'm going to use my bubble tool. I'm going to let it go down. Okay, and the reason I do this is to give it just that little bit more broth than it would give out. Now see, I'm above my 1-inch mark on my thing, so I'm going to take it to the sink. I'm going to dump a little bit out. Okay, wipe that off. Wipe the rim off, and that just reminded me I don't have my vinegar out. Oh, I've got an air bubble. Make sure you get all your air bubbles out, and that you have your 1-inch head space. And then you get your vinegar. It's just white distilled vinegar. Rag, paper towel, sponge, doesn't really matter. And you wipe your rim down good and proper. Make sure there's nothing on it. Lid, ring, fingertip tight. Back in the canner. Okay, you do these one at a time so your jars stay warm. because you always want to put your raw pack food in warm jars. That's just the rule. And, you know, as it goes, things vary. And I may not do things the way that you've seen them done, or the way your grandma does them, or the way your mama has done them, or things like that. But you know what? That's the good thing about it being my kitchen and not yours. You can do your kitchen however you want. I do my kitchen however I want. Okay, see that one has a little bit more room. And this will make its own broth, it will. But this is just to make sure that it makes enough to cover the chicken, because I don't like the way that the chicken looks in the jars whenever it is not completely covered. By broth. And then this just gives it just that little bit of extra if it needs more help. And like I said, I do the skin and the bone on because A, I don't know what I'm going to use this for, and B, let me show you in just a second. Okay, and I do not boil my lids. That is not something that USDA or Ball recommend you do anymore. It is one of those things that our grandmothers and our mothers did, but we don't have to do. They just want you to wash them in hot soapy water. Same with your jars. I sanitize my jars in the dishwasher. I wash my lids in the sink with hot soapy water. Let me see. I have a jar of it. There we go. Now, this comes from a quart of chicken legs that I did the same way. And I used those chicken legs for a casserole. I took them out and I deboned them, and I took the skin and the cartilage and everything else out that nobody likes, and then I was left with this. That is about as thick of bone broth as you can get. It's to the point that it's pulled all the collagen out and it has of the bones, and it has turned it into gelatin. You can heat this up. It'll reliquify, and it'll be some of the richest, best flavor infused broth that you have ever used. Not to mention, ladies, it's really, really good for your skin and your hair and your nails. But yeah, that was done the same way, and it made the bones just crumble in your hands. I mean, it's to the point that you can actually crumble them up and put them in your dog food with no risk to your animals. All right, so these are some really big thighs, so I'm getting 3 to a jar. Normally I get 5 legs to a jar if I do legs. Those are kind of small. I might get both of those in there, maybe. Maybe. Nope. But that's all right. But this, it makes for some really good meat for casseroles, chicken enchilada, white chicken chili, anything that you want cooked chicken for. It works great. And I have found that the darker meat, I mean, I love chicken breast. Chicken breast is my go-to any time I can. But when it comes to pressure canning, I prefer to can the darker meat because it does not get stringy or I don't want to call it dry because it's not really dry. It's just, you know how the canned chicken at the supermarket, like tuna, that texture, that's what the breasts come out as. The chicken thighs and drumsticks come out just like you had boiled or baked it. Actually, I want to put that on top. Let me open this other one so I have a new batch to pick from when it comes to size here. I'm going to use that little one for a topper. Because, like I said, some of these are really, really big. And I hope I'm in frame, right? Yes, I'm in frame. I'm in too much frame. I don't really like being on camera. But this is one of them. If it helps anybody out and answers any questions about that canner. And I grew up canning, so I know how to use a weighted counterweight pressure cooker. Do I like them? No. Main reason is the hissing, the constant hissing. It drives my anxiety wild. It's just constant noise. And this, after it does its 10-minute vent, it does not hiss anymore. Once it comes to pressure and starts pressure cooking, then it makes no more noise other than you can hear water boiling and sometimes the jars jiggling. And that's it. It's so nice. It is so very nice. And I may, let's see if there's a little one. All right, so this one's going to have 4 in it. Like I said, I don't put a lot of water in it, just enough to top it off in case it does not make it enough of its own broth. Will I get siphoning? Yeah, probably. Will it kill me? No, it just another day of cleanup. I mean, I clean up anyway. I always wash my inner pot and things like that, so not really worried about it. I give it plenty of time to do its thing. All right, now I'm going to put the lid on. Okay, lock it. Lock this down. The regulator stays open. And I'm going to fill the other 5 jars, and then I'll come back and show you how to advance this. All right, so now I have the other canner full, everything wiped down from the chicken yuck. And let's see if I can get you zoomed in here to where we can see what it says. Okay guys, so we filled the jars. We have the lid locked. The regulator is on vent. The temperature sensor is locked, and we are going to hit advance. Okay, it's going to heat the water. And then once it gets to boiling and gets the temperature up right, it's going to say vent. Okay, it's going to vent for 10 minutes. It will have a countdown. At the end of that 10 minutes, it will tell you to close the regulator. It'll beep and tell you up here, it'll say close regulator. And then when you do, it'll take maximum 2 minutes to come to pressure. And then that's all the noise it makes. And then it'll beep again and it'll say pressure can. And that's when it starts. Your timer will show up and it'll start counting down. And there's the 10-minute countdown. Okay, we are down to 1 minute countdown on the vent. I'm actually going to take you off the tripod. There's telling me to put the regulator on. And so I just switch it from vent to can, or if I had taken it off, I put it back on. And then I push the advance button. And there it is. Now, see how long it takes to fully come to pressure before it starts canning. The other canner's getting ready to beep at me. All right. The other one actually sounds like it's building pressure faster. I think it's just got a little bit more. Oh, and this one came to pressure. As soon as this other one comes to pressure and pops the regulator or the vent completely up, it started. And this is all the noise you hear in my kitchen the whole time it's going. And when the countdown gets a little bit closer to being done, I'll come back and show you the next step. I don't touch it until it's completely done now, but I'll show you the next step that the canner does. Alright, as you can see, the countdown is done, and now the little cool symbol displays. And this will go from anywhere from 45 minutes to 90 minutes, depending on how long this has gone, how hot it has got. Typically, it takes about an hour. And we'll be back once that starts. that tells me that it's done. But the pressure still hasn't completely dropped, so we go ahead and shut it off. And I will unplug it, and then I'll let the pressure drop naturally. And we should be good. And whenever the pin drops, I'll let it set another 10 minutes, and then I'll take them out and I'll come back and show you what it is. All right, so it's off. Pin, knew I'd remember, is down. So switch to vent, no pressure, no pressure. Watch the steam. All right, if you want, you can come look in the canner.
They're boiling.
Now, I want to take these out, let them sit for a good 12 hours on the counter overnight. If they seal, which I've never had a thing of chicken not seal. And that is how the Presto Precise Digital Canner helps me and my family stay on budget whenever I find good deals on chicken. Y'all have a great day. Be safe. Come back.